And we're live, baby. Best Ball Barbecue, day number 17, consecutive stream, consecutive drafts. It is the fourth day. It's like the 7 days of Christmas or whatever that is. This is the fourth day of guest night, and we have a very special guest. Fantasy Dog Pound has blessed us with his presence on today's stream. Before we bring him on, obviously we'll be doing a BBM entry. Just both of us one team, unlike the 1v1 me and Eric. Or not, yeah, Eric did earlier where I had to drop some rap knowledge on that fool real quick. But we're going to be doing BBM. We're going to be hopping in those streets, talking a little week 16, week 17. Make sure you're subscribed to 600 subs. We're doing a 24-hour live stream, which is going to be awesome. So we're about 75 away from that. And before we do any drafting, we have one thing to do. Let's hit the intro. Everything to start. Let's go. Oh, baby, and we're back. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a Falcons fan. And here we go. We got Fantasy Dog Pound in here. Just hit 1,300 subs on YouTube today. Congrats, man.
Yeah, hey, you guys celebrate every milestone possible. Don't leave one out.
There we go. Well, let's just hop right into it, man. Let's just get in here. If you want to draft with us, hop in. There's 6 people left, so if you want to hop in, come draft with us. How many BBMs have you done thus far?
I've done 9.
Okay, I think this is my 12th. So, yeah,
slow and steady on my end right now. Again, I'm using the puppies to really get rid of the draft itch, and I'm focusing BBMs around. I just want to get drafts, a certain amount of drafts at every point in the summer. Like you have 12. That's not that many. Like you're under 10% fill right now. So, yeah, I'm sure you're doing something similar.
There we go. Well, we got some people in here. I know we got
4
Flatulent in here. That's the only. Oh, and Anthony at the 110. I think those are the only 2 names I recognize.
Who's at 1 and 2? Can't see 1 and 2 in
Dr. Hoots and Coach J41 DFS.
Okay. I know Spike Week in the 4 spot. Yeah, Frank in the 11 spot. He's a pounder.
There we go. Can we please? Somebody set it up here. I kind of laughed when I look at it. Let me pull it up here. Or no. There we go. PPR. Can I get one for my stream? Because I always make the joke when you are in the chat.
All right. We'll give you a good one. Give you a good one. Pounders.
There we go. Love it. All right. 1-6 here. I kind of like this range. I don't draft in this spot a lot. Who's your? I always like to ask this question. There's 2 kind of questions I like to ask for new guests on here. There's this receiver tier where it's kind of a who do you like situation,
right?
And there's the round 2 3 turn receiver tier. But who's like if who's your guy kind of in the beginning tier for receivers?
Beginning tier, yeah. So you're talking about Hill, Chase. I'm assuming you're just going Dak at 2 there. I think that's pretty much the safest option right now, especially after they don't add anyone to this offense. I hope, touch on that real quick, I really hope that there are just holdout rumors, because Jerry Jones is going to pay this man. Yeah. I'll take the risk on that. Give me Dak, or give me CD at 4 all day. But I like Chase. I like betting on a bounce back year for Burrow too, based on his ADP. But yeah, JJ here at 6 is smooth.
You like JJ? Let's go with that then. Jefferson's. Yeah, I think I usually draft CD at 2 because I feel like he's kind of like his. I mean, sometimes someone will take Tyreek. Sometimes CD will go at 101. So I usually draft him there at 2 because you're probably not going to get him at 4 or 5. Or Jamar, you can sometimes get at 5, or Tyreek can fall to 5. But Jefferson was a guy I was huge on in the big board. There's some people who are scared about Jefferson because of the volume concerns with Kirk Cousins leaving, and just the overall quality of the offense isn't going to be as great. But I feel I live in Minnesota, so I kind of hear everything. I think that Jefferson's still going to get his. The volume's going to impact the guys like Addison. It's going to impact Hockenson when he comes back. There's no wide receiver 3 in this offense. It's freaking Brandon Powell. There's no one else to get targets here. It's JJ's going to get his, so I'm really fine with him drafting him in the middle of the first still.
There's no doubt at the same point, I think his consistency of that high ceiling that he had with Kirk Cousins is not there. However, he is an elite receiver, and like the next receiver off the board is Amon-Ra. So, what are your options? Are you going to be that far underexposed to an elite player that still has an elite single game ceiling? Probably not.
Yeah, and speaking of holdout rumors, we might get a nice little JJ. I mean, like, how has he not been paid yet? He's going into the final year of his deal. He's probably the
Yeah.
best receiver in the league, and he's not been paid, which is crazy
Yeah.
to me. So we might get a little JJ holdout discount maybe sometime
Yeah.
in the over training camp.
Could. Definitely could. But again, where they spend, well, they spend a pretty high pick on QB. They want to surround him with talent in order to succeed, in my opinion. So again, like this is a situation where I would just lean into JJ's got him by the nuts. So
Yeah, it's just funny. I wish my lighting was that good. What was that good dark like pound? Damn god. Your lighting is nice. What kind of camera you got, man? You looking
dude, this is just an Elgato, like the cheaper Elgato camera. It's not the 4K. It's I don't know. Maybe I have Elgato lights too. And this is stuff that I should put in my description. I just haven't got around to it. Is like those little partnership codes that they give you, and you just kind of say your whole rig like down in the description. But
yeah, those like gaming streamers. They got that stuff on lock where they have
computer
headphone
review
deals
freaks and yeah.
Dude, I had no dude. My PC, so I built it kind of to start my. I knew I wanted to stream. I was like, okay, now I know I need a PC, and I know nothing, literally nothing about computers. My roommate in college was the one who kind of knew everything. So I was like, dude, I want a PC. Here's my budget. Build it. So he literally like sent me what to buy. I bought it all. Went up to my college town where he still lives, and he just built the entire thing for me like a night. So
hell yeah, that's sick. That's kind of similar with my my buddy built mine. It's the best way to get the best bang for your buck, and yeah, you need it if you get into editing, and it gets pretty intense with the usage, PC usage. So,
all right, coming back around here, any players you like? This is kind of that next tier where you got some of these running backs, some of these receivers. Who do you like right here?
JT falls to 19. It's an easy scoop. He goes. I like Debo at 19. I don't mind Devontae Adams, but I have Debo ranked ahead of Olave in the CSV rankings. Let's
go Debo then. What do you just a little down on Olave? I like to hear your Olave take because I do semi like Olave. I think the talent's there, but I like to hear your take on it.
Well, what changed with the situation last year that he proved that he should move up this year?
That's fair. 100% fair, dude. I will say the OC I think does matter a tad. I think Pete Carmichael was an awful play caller. They get Clint Kubiak coming in from the Niners system. He's been in some different systems as well, so I think that could bode well for him. But I don't know if it's going to be. Where did he finish last year in points per game? Like it wasn't.
It wasn't terrible, but it's sort of like DK, right? You know what you're getting with DK. You're getting a wide receiver 2 every single year. So for Olave to make that jump, there's just a few players I have in front of him. It's not like it's a hard fade, but the rise to me seems a little fishy.
Yeah, that's fair. 100%. Yeah, he kind of rose up out of nowhere. Maybe because people thought he was like, because in the big board he was more of like a true like early third round pick area. Right. Now he's kind of like a mid second round pick. Maybe it's because people thought they were going to draft a receiver. They don't. Now it's what. Yeah, he as the wide receiver 2, AT Parrott coming in maybe as like a pure X, but I don't know.
Right.
Okay, here let's see. 4 picks away. Yeah, I got some guys that I like. Like I love scooping up Josh Allen. You can get him as Best Ball Mania though. You can get him later. Like you can get him like closer to.
Still falling. So he's a player that I'll just grab my stacks or I'll just grab whatever. I'll just grab my shares later.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Olave had 1 top 10 finish. He had 2 top 10 finishes, 10 and 9 against Chicago and Minnesota last year. One was a 13.6 point game.
Yeah, and one of those games was when Jameis was the quarterback for Minnesota. So there's that as well. Let's see.
But very similar to like DK, where you're getting like consistent wide receiver 2 numbers. You're just getting DK like at pick 32 instead of pick 17 with Olave.
Yeah,
I get it. He's still young enough to break out. It's just QB situation's the same. They don't touch at receiver, which I think is why he rose, which you said. But Neighbors
Oh,
here at 30's interesting. He's still, in my opinion, falling.
okay.
But
I'm not a big Laporta guy either, just because you can get Mark Andrews like the fifth. So I'm not. They're like the
on
same.
on my ranks, I have DK above Neighbors.
Okay. Hey dude, I drafted DK earlier today. I love drafting DK. I think there's I was saying it earlier. I think there's a scenario where DK sort of has the best season of his career with this new. I'm super stoked about the play caller in Seattle.
Yeah.
Ryan Grubb coming over from the Washington Huskies, and we've
Yep.
seen some of these college guys have success in the league, and I just think he could be, I don't know, maybe like DK is not, he doesn't have the same skill set as a Dunze, and it's kind of silly to be comparing college and NFL kind of roles, but
Mhm.
I'm really excited. I think there's gonna be a lot more 11, not this 12 bullshit that we had with Pete Carroll for like 6 years. And I think DK could just really flourish in that role and be kind of just, maybe see the
Yeah.
most targets he's ever had in his career. In the third round
Yeah.
price here, I'm fine paying it because at the very least he's a week winning type of guy.
Yeah. He's had 5 games. I'm looking at the stats now. 5 games above 94 yards last year. 8 touchdowns, which is nice. Just consistent wide receiver too. He had 1 wide receiver, 1 finish overall with 34 points. So he has that ceiling, which is important for best ball, especially. But I'm also not opposed to going down and just reaching down even a little further to Cooper Kupp if that was to get us different combinations. That's going to be something that you're going to pay attention more to at the end of the draft season rather than right now in the beginning. But that's why we keep track of these ADPs.
Yeah, there's something I wanted to get into it with you. I saw your tweet earlier about it today, the week 17, week 16 thing. I kind of teased it in my tweet. So it seems like you're pretty hard stanced on the week 17 thing. Are you going to be doing any week 16 at all? Are you be
100%.
a little bit? But
100%.
I just like to hear your overall take on it because I'm fascinated by it.
So my strategy doesn't really change from last year. It was week 17 first. Obviously, player takes are at the top. And then week 16 is next, man. Like it is. But where you look at where do you want your competition? Where do you want your strongest lineup? Week 16 versus 17. Week 16, you're facing how many other lineups? It's 16. It's 15.
Yeah.
The finals is 539. You have on average, if you finish just over even advance rates, if you advance 2.2 out of 12, you will make the finals 1 in 8 years. That one time you make the finals, do you want to shoot for the bottom half of the tournament? That's my question. Now you can get there with it doesn't you can get there still without game stacking. But there's an obvious edge. There's data to back it with game stacks. And I will say, if you're not maxing this tournament, I do understand it more with the game stacks because then it's a profit for week 16 over 17.
Do you like ETN?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I love ETN and he fell into like
after ADP is like a quick scoop for me. T
Yep.
Higgs on a contract year. We have him around 35.
Okay. I see. I like T. Higgins too. T. Higgins was a guy I was drafting a ton on the big board because you look at the 2 years where T. Higgins and Joe Burrow both stayed healthy like for a majority of the season. T. Higgins was the wide receiver 12 and wide receiver 13 in both those years. Yeah. So getting him at wide receiver 26 right now, if they can just stay healthy.
Yeah, right.
I think
Exactly.
The trade stuff, there's like a new piece every month where it's like Scheffner's like, T. Higgins isn't happy. Yeah, he's unhappy. He's still probably playing for the Bengals.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way I see it too.
Yeah.
But when you get your team to week 17, if you're lucky enough to get one in this year, I want the most plus EV team correlated with the week 17 as possible. And that's just sort of my take. That doesn't mean I'm not correlating week 16. I think it's a good 50-50 break if you need to make a decision on a player where there is no correlation and you have these players in the same tier. I think that's important.
100%. And I like you said, if you're lucky enough to get to week 17, you'd like, if you're week 16, if you're just a full on 100% week 16 drafter and you're like, yes, I'm in the finals. But like, then you're like looking at your game stacks and you're like, oh no, Like I
Yeah.
got San Francisco, but I got it with like
Right.
I have a ton of other like Minnesota correlation or something like that, where it's I don't know, it's you just be like you're not going to feel as good, but like you said, you can get there with the stacks, and maybe you just get totally lucky, like you're just your random players boom, and
Dude,
but it's
Naked Goff took down a weekly winners last year. It was like 262,000
I
teams or
didn't know
something.
that for real.
Yeah, Naked Goff took down a week for weekly winners.
Oh, I love it. See, so that makes you feel better if you're a week 16 drafter, then I think, or maybe if you're just a
You,
non-stacker drafter.
you can get there. I do. I am very player take heavy on getting my guys still.
All right. Well, who's your guy in this range?
For our team, I wouldn't mind reaching up. When's our next pick?
We
Yeah, it's a little while.
yeah, 67.
If you go Kirk here, we can try to get Ingram and correlate a little Jacksonville triple that way. You can go Cooper for spikes too, because we have pretty good floor with our team. So either one of those I'm good with.
Let's go Kirk.
Okay.
I like Kirk. I don't know. The floor is there, and he's not that much of like a spike week guy, and the offense is a little different, but I don't know. Kirk was always a guy that I liked. He was free. Oh my god, he was the best value in the big board. Where I don't even remember where he was going. It was like 7th round or something like that, where you could just oh my god, he was free. But yeah, Jacksonville thing. I don't know how much Jacksonville even have in the Bestball Mania yet. So
we have that little DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson week 16 mini right now.
Oh, there we go.
I know that'll get you excited.
Oh yeah, there we go. Jax, let's see. Bestball Mania. I'm just trying to see how much Jacksonville I have in this thing right now. I got one.
A lot of Jacksonville.
So do I. I think Trevor Lawrence is my most drafted quarterback in the pre-draft. Oh man, like the team. We're fine. We're great at receiver. We get a stud running back who I think is gonna just outperform like 100% where he's going right now. I just don't understand. Like you look at the board, there's just no argument for me. Like I'm taking Travis Etienne over like Josh Jacobs. It's like that's an easy click for me. And I think James Cook. Like if you're, obviously James Cook goes after, but I'm definitely taking Etienne over Cook. I'm taking Etienne over White, Pacheco. Like it's just not even close for me.
Cook's got to fall. White's got to fall.
Let's see here.
Pacheco's still rising a little bit, but yeah, he's in sort of like a tier in his own. Although Jacobs goes near him, I have him way above Jacobs.
Yeah. All right, come on now.
Shout out to Logan in the live stream. He goes off the CSV and his teams come out really sharp.
Love it. I always thought about doing some personalized rankings. Just kind of getting in that lane. I don't even know if I would I'd probably just drop them on Twitter, be like, hey, here's what I'm thinking. It's just kind of like a group think tank kind of thing.
It keeps you sharp. It keeps you in tune with player movement and the market. So it not only helps your community, but it helps you too. 67. I'm fading Odunze here. I have him at like 77.
Okay.
Kittle's a pretty good option. Who do we have?
Too.
Okay.
We could try and push Ingram around too. These receivers just like McConkey just going too high for me.
I'm Kittle here in this range.
Yep,
Kittle here in this range. Coming back around 10 picks. Like I'm staring at Ramondre Stevenson. Hey, Nick, what's up, baby?
I had no clue. So Bindles will attest to this, but I had no clue what GMs meant until like last week. I thought it meant good morning, and I was streaming at like 6, and Bindles was like GM, and I was like, dude, it's like 6 p.m. I just look like an idiot.
So go ahead, tell the crowd what it means.
It means it's just you're having a good draft, right? Good start to the draft. That's what it is.
Good morning, man. I thought it was good morning.
Wait, you didn't? No, GMs means good draft.
I thought it meant good morning, bro.
No,
I'm a simple man.
No. That's okay. So you're in my boat, dude.
GM with coffee?
No. It's like GMs means like good morning, but like when you
drink coffee in the morning, unless you're a psychopath like me.
Yeah, but I thought but apparently it means like if you're drafting, you're on stream, and someone comes and say GM, it's like you're having a good start to the draft. I had no clue.
Right.
I had no clue. All right. Options coming back around here. Obviously Jones with the Minnesota thing, even though he's like He's like, what, 30, 29, 28, something like that. I forget exactly how old he is. But we got Brian Thomas for another Jacksonville thing. Ingram's gone, so no double elite tight end.
The only reason I'm cool with Aaron Jones is leaning into the JJ McCarthy issue with how much volume, and maybe Justin Jefferson gets there on limited volume, 6 catches, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then Aaron Jones has the other 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and it's like Memphis from Dynasty Warzone had a really good point about this. Is JJ McCarthy or the Kirk Cousins was on pace for like 650 like passing attempts last year. JJ McCarthy's final season at Michigan, a career high through like 320 passing attempts.
Like 3 games over 20 passing
yeah,
attempts.
Dude. It's like so he's just gonna start slinging the ball all of a sudden. He's like, right. And that's what this offense requires.
Maybe.
This Rams system. Like it's I don't know. Okay, who we thinking? Who you like?
I like Aaron Jones or I like Stevenson. Do we have any correlation with New England is the question. Because
they're Chargers. We don't. Week 17 at least. Chargers,
Buffalo. Yeah, it's up to you. I'd probably lean with the mini on Aaron Jones.
I like it too, yeah. That's what I'm leaning as well.
Sort of betting on this team just being too cheap. But I do like Stevenson here though. Like the fact that Stevenson and Zamir White go back to back is disrespectful.
Yeah, we were just talking about Zamir White is too high.
Yeah. And Nick helped me with the ranks, made sure there was no stupid mistakes in there. Good mistake. We had Zamir White ranked within 2 spots of where he goes right now. And Singletary, we've hit on the rise on Singletary. A lot of players. Lad McConkey, we had him ranked 76 to start. The fact that he's already going above that's insane. But that was when he was in the 120s with Keon Coleman. One of my first BBM streams reached on Keon Coleman and Lad McConkey. Reached 40 spots on Keon Coleman. 99, his ADP was like 138. Someone's like, oh, aren't you like wasting the value, like the closing line value by doing that? I said, well, I'm not going to do too many drafts. And where I have him ranked in the 70s, I'm getting closing line value. So I have to do this right now because people are reaching on him too. So those early drafts, identifying those mega risers and getting them is largely important to why you're drafting. That is the biggest edge to drafting that early in the offseason with so much unknown. So that's really the only big edge there.
I'll say the one thing I don't understand about McConkey is he's a 6th round pick, and you look at some of the dudes in this range: Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, Calvin Ridley, Godwin, Dunze, Addis, like dudes who are like bona fide studs. Deontay Johnson. Like I don't understand why he's this high. Yes, he's connected to Justin Herbert, but if we're saying that they're not going to throw the ball a ton, and it's not like he's the only receiver in that offense, like QJ, as much as you hate Quentin Johnston, is like
he's basically a 1st round pick though. He went 2nd in the 2nd round. So you can kind of attribute him to being a 1st round pick in my opinion. And it's largely, I agree, it's speculative. Yeah. On Lad, it's speculative because he hasn't proved he can stay healthy. He hasn't proved he can actually be the number 1 in an offense in college, which is a problem. But he's so athletic and his route running is so clean that we're making that bet. And if an NFL team's making that bet, and I like the profile, I'm good with it. Did Purdy get snipped?
Purdy, no, he's still down there.
Okay. Najee here is fine, in my opinion.
I like Najee.
We don't have any love correlation. No Williams.
Let's go. We could go Jonathan Brooks. No, let's go Najee.
It's up to you.
Yeah, let's go Najee. I was saying Jonathan Brooks only because we do have like I usually if Jonathan Brooks is like my RB1, I'm usually not taking him because I don't know how he's gonna start the season, or 2. It's exactly so. I agree. With 3, I think it's a little easier click because he could be just an absolute freight train down the stretch.
That's just good roster construction. Yeah, Jamie brings up a good point. Mingo went that area last year, but Mingo also wasn't a prospect that I liked. So
I think Mingo got boosted up because there was like no X receivers in last year's draft. It's the complete opposite of this year, where like it was a ton of like slot guys or small guys. It was Addison who like actually played really well. It was
Mingo last year is like Javon Baker. Like that's kind of like where, in my opinion, he should have went in the draft.
Yeah. And Mingo also was not a 5th round pick last year.
But I bring up that example all the time that, Mingo is the clear example of like, oh, you should still trust your player takes, even if these NFL teams are going ahead and drafting these guys super high.
You see, I like your player take based drafting, and I know you. I saw you post about. I just want to get because he'll watch this, and I want your opinion on it. I know you know who hit him with the gritty is.
Oh yeah,
What is your thought about the? And he's I freaking
dude,
love him. I love him
he's
so
one
much.
of the best sports in the space. Like he takes the
100%.
most abuse out of anyone. He's a supporter of the channel, the YouTube
Yeah.
memberships. He's a great dude, and he can laugh. And if you can
Yes.
laugh at yourself, like all power to you. Per default to us. Yeah,
Let's do it. Boom.
we got
And
the
you
double
just got
stack,
like
right?
I just love that he's so confident in his drafting strategy. Where it's like
Yeah.
he dropped his exposures yesterday, and I quote tweeted and I was like, dude, like you think you're a player
I-
take drafter, not more than my man hit him with
Yeah,
the grit.
I haven't seen him, but I can only imagine. Probably a lot of Chase Claypool. I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, Chase Claypool was his number one wide receiver. It was
Now-
he's in a yeah. It was
We drafted it.
78%.
We drafted a biggest board together, and sort of changed his draft strategy a little bit. Now at the end, he did go with his guys, but yes, it's interesting, and we had a chat in DMs and sort of going through his process, and yeah, it's fine, man. Everyone has their own strategy, so
100%.
it only takes one team, even if a set strategy might be a minus EV, but we won't know until the end of the season, so it's tough to say right now.
Here, let's check out Flotchland's draft. DJ Joe Mixon coming out of the 3 spot. Going Tyreek, Achan, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Roma Dunes. There's a little Chicago thing going on there. Gets Caleb Williams for the stack. And Miami thing going on there too with he has Achan, Mostert, and Tyreek, and then Joe Burrow with T. Higgins. So still, I mean, pretty stacked up right now. Has probably 2 quarterback build right there with a Miami. No Tua, but I still like it. Do you think I think there's the dudes who you can draft together in the same backfield? Like I think Mostert and Achan are one of those duo, but like
Definitely.
yeah. But like
Other
Kenneth
ones?
Walker and Sharp are not that. Like it's hand like I'm not doing like handcuffs really with like when I'm drafting the backfield.
We don't know how they're going to use Charbonnet,
That is fair.
right? But there are multiple that I'm okay with just based on price.
There we go. We got to be honest, I'm a little scared off Pitt RBs. Those last 3 games, scream tough game scripts and down a ton of points. Yeah, what is it?
Yeah.
KC? Who's their week 16 game?
I have it right here.
It's Baltimore and Philly. Oh my god.
Philly's week 15, Baltimore, then KC.
Mm-hmm. And what if Pittsburgh's good though? You know, you never know. Arthur Smith, man, he wants to run the ball too. At least he's going to start the game running the ball for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Falcons fan, I know all about my boy Arthur. Okay, on the clock here, very balanced
Dude,
builds.
Bowers, bro, seems good to me.
Yeah, I did that. Oh my god, with 15 picks past ADP. Yes, sign me up, man.
Yeah.
Oh, sign me yeah. Let's go.
We can do some sort of late stack too if we needed a second QB and we get sniped on. Is T-Law still on the board?
Yeah, he is. He's right.
Okay,
Right there.
he could fall back to us. Is the
I was going to see the BTJ drafter is.
I think
No,
he's to the right.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, he's to the right. So we should get T-Law back to us. Where's
Ingram's
Ingram?
right here though. One of the 2 slot.
Yeah. Do they have a QB? They have Stroud. They could pass, but they probably go T-Law with one of those 2.
Yeah.
It'll depend on I just saw him select Palmer, so he did open up another stack with Herbert there.
They have McConkey. Is that a McConkey drafter? No, probably not.
I think McConkey's on the right.
No.
No,
right.
McConkey's to the left of us.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, so he could come back. We'll see what this guy does. I like this range of players.
Yep.
QBs, T-Law and Tua. Tua's fine. Tua always falls though, so that's what's nice about him. Chase, Shaheed, Myers.
I'm a big Spears guy. I love Spears.
Spears, Corum. I mean, is Elliott going to be a decent value this year just based on the amount of touches he's going to get? Now, his ceiling might not be as high as the players surrounding him, but is he going to be a decent value?
Dude,
based on where he goes.
Do you remember his like when Ramondre went down last year? That 3-game stretch Zeke had, dude, he was a freaking beast.
PPR and monster too.
We've seen exactly. We've seen what he's looked like in a McCarthy offense. He was here when McCarthy was here, and it was like that. It was that Tony Pollard year where like everyone like get Zeke off the field, get Tony Pollard needs all the touches kind of
Yes,
thing.
yes.
And Zeke, it was kind of like a Jamal Williams light where he was just the touchdown like merchant, where like 2 yard line, it was going to Zeke, and he's a good goal line runner.
Bro, Zeke had a RB1 overall week last year. Yeah, he's ours. We got him.
You never know. I
Bag secured.
I thought I had Aaron Rodgers earlier today, and
this is as close to a gritty team as I can humanly get.
Okay, let's do it.
It's now on the way back around. We're hoping for like Josh Downs, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's our hope.
The first night I met him with the gritty, it's documented. It's one of the YouTube videos on my channel. I had no idea. This is like I must have been streaming for like a week or two. Like I just started the channel, and I think he was picking 2 picks ahead of me in a big board, and I just like was looking at his, like, it was like he took the first 3 quarterbacks off the board. He took Allen, Lamar, and Hurts. And then you're like one wide receiver. And I was looking at Najee Harris, and I know it's one of his guys now, but I was like, if this guy checks Najee Harris, he's done it, because he had like 1 receiver through 7 rounds, and he took
yeah.
Unbelievable.
I can't get there with that strategy starting 3. Oh, I'm just noticing Mario Solar's in here. What's up? I don't know if he's in the stream, but Frank and Mario on the back end here.
There we go.
Just a couple people with the ranks, so
I need your opinion on a player, this might be where we butt heads.
All right,
Xavier Legette. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm mixing him in at ADP after Downs. Who's down there below him?
Let's see, Wicks, Pearsall, Quinton, and he was under Pearsall for a while when the contest first opened. Mooney, who I absolutely love as well.
Yeah, Mooney's good. I have Roman Wilson at like 143 right after Legette.
Okay.
And Mooney's in there, but I think Roman Wilson could have a higher ceiling with just who's the second favorite target in Pittsburgh right now? Like no one knows. Yep. So in my opinion, should be drafting a ton of Freiermuth right now. It should be drafting a ton of Roman Wilson.
Jamie says something that's absolutely 100% true. Somebody said in my chat, I think a couple days ago, it's unbelievable that it's
There's no way. He only had like 300 yards.
Yeah, but he's
no way. Tell me that's not true.
No, it is. If you look, I think it's receptions wise. He had the most reception.
Yeah, he had a shit ton of catches.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, I believe that.
It's unbelievable that's a true statement. Where it's like Hunter Henry, no.
He had like 60 catches.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So I do think it's gross. The click feels bad. You almost feel embarrassed clicking Zeke there at like 130, but Corum's the next running back off the board, and Corum is a backup that's trying to earn a share of touches. Whereas Zeke, he's gonna be gifted the touches. You
want to go downs here?
Oh hell yeah!
Let's do it. Anything to steer me off Legette. I have too much Legette in Bestball Mania right now, so I need to slow down. I think I have like 50% Legette through my 11 teams.
We're probably done at tight end, and we're going to stop at 5 RBs, in my opinion. When I look at this build right now, 5 RBs max, I would say it would be tough to stop at 4. So that's why I tend to say 5 here. But probably 2-5. Where's the math? 7, 8,
9 2,
7. Is it?
Wait, what? No, isn't it? Are we doing? If we do 2 quarterbacks, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 9. It's 9 receivers, which is perfect because our 5th receiver was Downs. So it allows us to catch up at receiver and then use more of that capital on the back. Hey, let's go! Let's go!
Okay, hit him. Or so I was at the.
We found commonality here.
I was working out with my buddy yesterday, and I showed him. He's not really into the best ball streets at all, whatever. But I showed him. I was like, dude, look at this guy's like exposures or whatever. And he was like, is this guy a Pittsburgh? I didn't even realize it, but he's like, is this guy just the most diehard Pittsburgh Steelers fan? Because I think you had Freiermuth up there. You had Claypool, obviously who's on the Steelers anymore, and then you had George Pickens. You had Najee as your most drafted running back. Are you just a huge Steelers fan? Hit him with a great. I thought you were a Vikings fan because for obvious reasons. What's going on with that? I know where you live, so it's not. I could see it being a Steelers thing.
I know where you live.
I didn't want to leak his state if you didn't want it out there.
Funny.
He was in Minnesota the other day. I don't know if he's still here. I think he was here yesterday.
Hell yeah!
I don't know. All right, 2 picks away here. Who are you thinking? We could go. I kind of like some of the running backs in this range.
Who do you have at? Click the receiver. the receiver
Ravens
tab.
fan. You draft a ton of Steelers? Yeah, let me draft it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, for me, here it would be probably Roman Wilson. Are you thinking running back here?
I really like Marshawn Lloyd. It would stack up with our Minnesota Week 17 if we wanted to do that. I just think he's going to have a really big role, and we get him at a value. But
Okay.
Roman Wilson,
I do worry about the receivers coming back to us where I think
yeah.
the running backs, there's probably better running backs that go
I need an
after.
excuse to draft Roman Wilson anyway, and we do
Okay,
have Najee, so
cool.
it stacks up nicely.
We'll
I
bring
just
yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm just still scarred from Arthur, because I drafted the shit out of the wide receiver 2 in Atlanta last year. Granted, that was Mac Hollins. It was not Roman Wilson, who's a third round pick and has some real upside. But I don't know, he doesn't do what you think you're gonna what everybody else in the world thinks he should do.
Yeah.
That's the exact opposite of that.
Yeah.
But Roman Wilson could just be, he could just be his guy. So we'll see.
Nick dropped a good shout in the chat. Bowers and Shaheed week 17 correlation.
Yeah.
Shahid would have been nice. I think he was off the board though.
Roman Wilson also has that kind of profile where he could just earn targets. Like Pickens, as good as he is, he's not really like a flat out target earner. He's a deep threat. He's kind of like a little schemy with some of the how you want to get him the ball. I could see Roman Wilson, just being that pure X maybe, or like that flanker type, depending on how they want to use him. But like he could just flat out earn targets. Obviously, we didn't see it at Michigan because of the offense that's well documented, but. I don't know.
Roman Wilson, they used a lot in slants. The worry with Roman is that the offense has to be sort of created around him and his strengths.
Mm-hmm.
I still was impressed with that kid's tape, and he's someone that I took a very hard stance on the big board, especially in rookies and sophomores. We ended up with 60% in rookies and
the big board.
Rookies and sophomores, yeah. Big board, I can peek now. Let's see. Burton was my number 1 at 25%, and Roman Wilson was my number 2 at 20%. For receivers overall.
Got it. Okay.
Waddle's up there at 19.6.
I had a lot of Waddle too. One question I want to ask you, just because now I'm curious, because you obviously had the player take thing. It sounds like you're grinding the film and all that, but I want to know, if you had to describe your brand, give me 3 players. Like, these are my guys. This is our brand. Like, my brand is Xavier Legette, Noah Fant, and whoever. But like, who is your brand of players? Like, okay, this guy loves this players.
Right. Based on like the brand, and this will go back to like early takes in the big board. Ray Davis was very early. Nick, shout out to Nick at F42. ADP didn't have an ADP. He sends me this kid's tape. I'm on the shitter. Like, no lie. I'm on the shitter watching this kid's tape. I'm like, oh yeah, like this kid's gonna rise. Like, guaranteed. Yeah, who cares? He's like 26 years old. He's just shitting on the college kids. He's gonna rise. So he's definitely one of like the brand name guys for the pound very early into the offseason before he had an ADP.
All right. Who are we thinking here? Probably running back. I mean,
I like Algier.
Thank God. There we go. Love Algier as well.
It's the number 1 handcuff.
Mm-hmm. And I believe. Oh no, wait. Atlanta plays. Oh my God. Why am I Washington? So we don't have any Washington, but that's fine. Yeah. Okay. Let's go Algier. And I mean, dude, Ray Davis was my most drafted player in the big board. My number 1 overall most drafted player in the big board. This is like, I'm a Ray Davis slappy. I have 4 clips on my StreamYard. One is my first intro. One is my second intro. The other one is me walking out to that little Yachty AI thing. And the 4th one is this clip. Come on now. Get out of there. Come on. Yeah. Like, dude, what are we talking about?
So, yeah, I think it changes too with like the 3 players like for your brand. Ricky Pearsall is a huge one. In the 220s. In the 220s. Very early on Ricky Pearsall. Really good shout from Nick. Both of those guys. Nick got me on Ray. I got him on Ricky, which is funny. The third, you could tie it between Darnell Mooney and Curtis Samuel. Was very high on both of those guys at the ADP of Curtis Samuel was going right next to Zay Jones at 170. I was clicking 0 Zay Jones, only Curtis Samuel there. Sure, we get a nice landing spot, but just based on the player prototype, like, I thought no matter where he went, he was going to be able to be a wide receiver 3 at worst with upside of good landing spots. And then Mooney in the 220s, sometimes being undrafted was criminal.
Yeah, no, you're speaking my language right now, man. Like Davis, Pearsall, my other guy was like in the big board was Corley. I was huge on Corley. I loved his tape, loved obviously the yak ability. That's kind of why I fell in love with him. But
Yeah.
dude, it sounds like we're pretty lockstep on some of these rookies, which I like. It's funny, but you did say Burton and Wilson, which I didn't have a ton of, but it's
Burton again. He's 25%, but like the identity of the pound, like hitting on, like Burton was obviously one of hashtag my guy, obviously. Going in the 20th round.
Yeah. Okay, coming up here.
Bucky would be sick. Rashawn Johnson would be sick. Do you have a take on either of those?
I slightly like Tyrone Tracy a tad. I don't know though, but I think I like Bucky a tad more though.
Okay.
Roshan, I do like Roshan, man. He just because like DeAndre Swift kind of takes up more of Herbert's role than I don't know. I just think Roshan's big enough he could fall in the end zone a couple of times. But Bucky Irving, obviously the speed wasn't there, but he was let's go Bucky because I think he's one of those guys where he's just good at football. Yeah, he didn't run a fast 40. His size speed stuff isn't great. It's not. It's actually not. It's actually horrendous when you look at it. But is he good at football? Like I've seen him play. He went to Minnesota before he transferred to Oregon. So I've watched a lot of Bucky Irving, and he's just he's just hashtag good.
I saw a stat, I can't quote where I saw it, but his game speed was ranked in the top 5, top 6. That being said, I wasn't overly impressed with this tape. I think Rashawn Johnson could be one of the biggest risers in BBM 5 with the potential of Herbert being moved. Like you're talking about 65 picks of value. So I'm clicking a lot of Rashawn right now because first off, 182, you're not risking a lot. There could be mega high, very big upside for that click right now. At the worst case, you're getting probably a change of pace back who's going to just give you okay numbers. Spike in there maybe 2-3 times, which is all you're hoping for back here anyway. So trying to find those gems, the needle in the haystack guys is that's what we're looking for this early in the season.
100%. 100%. It's always fun. Like it's my favorite thing about I really dove into I was an underdog the year before, but last year was my first year. I really just went head first in it.
Yeah.
And it's funny. It's so crazy how the one that sticks out in my mind last year was he was a riser and his situation did not change whatsoever. It was just the way people started talking about him was Darren Waller. Darren Waller had the biggest rise out of anybody who didn't have nothing happened. There wasn't an injury. There wasn't a trade. It was just Darren Waller, he looks sick in shorts. Let's draft the shit out of this guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was one of the big ones. The number 1 riser last year in BBM 4 was, oh God, are we going to blank now? Casey running back. Not obviously not Pacheco, and obviously not
Deneric Prince?
No, not Prince. I'm blanking 100%.
Wait, it's not CH. CH?
Not CH.
Who's the running back there? Deneric Prince. Oh, Jerick McKinnon.
Jerick McKinnon, he's an absolute hero in the Super Bowl. After he signed the 1-year deal, he rose 70 or 80 picks.
Yeah. Because he had a crazy season the year before. He ended the year with a crazy amount of touchdowns, and he was just I don't know.
Ben wants it to be Deneric Prince.
Dude, I definitely drafted Deneric Prince last year. Not a lot, but I took some stabs at him. Now I have another question for you now, especially this is more like the big board. Let's get it in before we pick here. Who's the most disgusting, deepest guy you've taken in the draft so far? If you can recall one.
Oh dear. It's not even that. It's all my deep clicks have purpose. So I like Baker here.
So do I.
Very cool.
So do I. Let's do it.
Again, now this is our second rookie on the squad, so now we're bringing in some upside end of season with some of these rookies, and we have Kirk, who's a good floor guy, Debo, spike week guy, DK is going to give you those wide receiver 2 numbers, JJ should be pretty consistent, obviously, where we're taking him, and then Josh Downs. So his team makes a lot of sense.
100%.
Deepest guy that I like is Parker Washington.
Okay, I've clicked him. There's one in the big board. Now, this is the most disgusting one ever. I think I've done it twice. Is when I had a Seattle stack, I clicked D Eskridge once or twice because I was
that's nasty.
Second, he was a second round pick. They re-signed him. And what is he, the wide receiver 4 behind maybe like if he just has to be like Jake Bobo for some, like that deep.
I clicked Bobo. I've clicked Bobo. The last
Okay.
the last draft I did for the big board. We clicked Bobo on the live stream just for fun, for a little double stack with Gino. Yeah, that's pretty gross.
Love this. Carson Steele.
Carson Steele. I clicked Danny Bellinger once. Now I'm at the bottom. Just I'm scraping at the bottom here, looking at the people I've clicked once. Had a huge fade on Brendan Rice. All those other rookies seem to have huge success in rising, so it feels good to be to hit on that. Again, he was just someone I wasn't really impressed with this date.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, connected to Caleb Williams, like it's a lot easier to look good than if you're like connected to I don't know, whoever was throwing the ball to Malachi Crowley at Western Kentucky. Actually, I think he's actually good. I actually think he's a prospect next year. I think I actually just put some disrespect on his name when that was not warranted.
It's okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Hey, Ben.
Apologize to his mom on Twitter later or something.
Funny fun fact about Malachi Crowley. His girlfriend liked one of my tweets.
Nice.
I knew it was his girlfriend because I just did like a Malachi Crowley tweet and I just got a like and it just said, I only made this page to support my boyfriend. And it was all likes of Malachi Crowley and there's a picture of Malachi and then like on a mountain or somewhere. So
that's funny. That's funny. Wandale here is pretty juice.
I like Wandale a lot. Love it. I mean, 17th round. I love Wandale.
Wandale, dog.
Speaking of the Giants, absolute travesty. Do you know the Giants are actually favored week 1 at home against the Minnesota Vikings?
Yeah. By how much? It's probably just a gross game.
-1.
Yeah,
all right.
It's just a gross game. Yeah, for sure.
And we have an Indy thing with week 17. Or it's Giants Indy with Josh Downs.
This last pick is a pure luxury pick, in my opinion. We have a very balanced team. It could be wide receiver, or if you worry about Kittle, or maybe if you worry about Bowers, you could go tight end, in my opinion. You could go QB. Again, this is a luxury pick here. I think it's anything but running back, though.
If Fields is there, I think I like to click Fields if he's there.
Yeah.
Just because, obviously he could be
this is just end of season upside.
Mm-hmm.
A little double stack.
Yep. And we could go. I was saying this earlier. Do we think this is the first time ever where a backup quarterback in the regular season, like BBM, where a backup quarterback's being drafted above the guy who's already been named the starter? Because like you could make the Trey Lance thing earlier last year, but that was like before the draft kind of deal where but still it's crazy.
If we're gonna draft Russell Wilson, why not just draft Derek Carr?
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't.
You do have a stack though with Roman.
I'll just take him naked with Derek Carr, and if like Derek Carr, take A.T. Perry or something. But for me, Russell Wilson, I think the chances of him not playing in the playoffs are too high for me to sort of spend a pick at QB.
That's fair. Also, too, if I turn around, it's because the Wolves game around. They're up 11 right now. Unbelievable.
Nice. And if the risk of him not playing is there, right? Like,
yes,
you could be just down a player.
Exactly.
And how much is his upside? Like that click, how high is the upside? Mm-hmm. And he won me a battle royale week for 25K. So like him and Judy with little Keenan Allen bring back, which is why game stacking so important. But
there are two players that I'm interested in drafting right here. We'll see if they. I don't want to say anything. We'll see if they fall to us. Anthony,
there's too many spies in this room right now.
I want to break down Anthony's team real quick. We haven't done it, so let's do it. Tika 144 going Puka, Jameer, Sam Laporta, Trey McBride. It's a little double tight end to start off the draft. Jaden Reed, Kyler Murray, Christian Watson has the stack there. Has a stack with Kyler, J-Mo, Trey Benson, Jared Goff, Blake Corum, Ricky Pearsall, Wilson, Troy Franklin, Tyrone Tracy, DeMarcus Robinson. I think DeMarcus Robinson's a really good click. You look at the way he finished last year too. Is talk about that at length. Cody Schrader. I like the Cody Schrader pick because even who was it? Shanahan said he's like, we'll probably just like we're probably gonna draft 2 running backs. The guy in the 3rd is gonna bust. The guy in the 6th is gonna hit. Like that's just good. Cody Schrader is that guy in the 6th. Garendo, who like has the biggest bust profile of any running back that got drafted probably. Yeah. Other than like that guy from Texas who was like a safety, but he like decided he's wanted to play running back, or Keelan Robinson, I think his name is. Like, crazy.
Yeah. He's like full on Antonio Gibson. I would have liked one guy that could provide him some early season floor. I notice he has how many rookies on that squad? Like someone like Antonio
Yeah.
Gibson late would have been nice. Even I'm probably going Rashawn Johnson there over Tyrone Tracy, but
Hmm.
very much leaning into Gibbs here, and then super elite at tight end, about as elite as you can get.
Yep. Literally. Literally. Okay, the two guys that I like Walker and I like Chark. I think those two guys, I mean, Walker could just have a role. Someone's got to catch passes outside of
Mm.
Bateman and Flowers. Or not,
Is
sorry, Andrews and
there
Flowers.
any correlation stacks we could find?
Baltimore with Houston, no. Chargers with New England. We do have New England, so Chark would be at the top there. Tennessee is with Jacksonville, so we do have that. We're going to go Boyd.
Boyd's kind of mediocre with our team.
You down for Chark? I think Chark could have a real role.
That's fine.
Okay. And he was a week 17 guy last year. I think he had
7 points. Yeah, he was in the lineup with like 7.2
I
points.
thought he had 17.
I don't think
Are
so.
you sure? I'm almost positive he was like
I thought he made the team, but he wasn't like a big impact. I could
thought
be
he did
wrong. I
last
could be
year.
wrong, but
all right, Shark game log. Come on. Because it's 2024. Okay, 2023 game log.
right.
Shark.
He had 2.3 points in week 17.
No, he didn't, dude. That's a lot. Was
Week
it
16,
then?
he had 24 points.
That's what it was. Okay, I knew he was a big guy in the playoffs somewhere. That's what it was.
I'm sorry, it was Woods. Woods is the guy I'm thinking of that made it onto the week 17 winning roster.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Woods. That's
Yeah.
all right.
That's crazy.
We're digging deep right now.
All right, we'll wait for this thing to end so I can name it.
What up?
Name it right away. I just
What got you into working with Player Profiler?
That's a funny story, actually. So I had heard of Player Profiler. I never I didn't watch their stuff a lot though. So it was a mutual friend of my girlfriend's friend's friend. It's a weird connection.
Love
where
that.
like the friend knew I was huge into fantasy, and he grew up with this guy who had worked for Player Profiler in the past, small world. And he was like, "Hey, this guy loves fantasy. You should link him up." And then he just like tossed my name on to Matt. Me and Matt had a call for like 10 minutes. He's like, "You got it, dude. He's like, you're hired." And then I kind of started, just doing producing. I still do producing. I produce all Matt's shows. So I'm in the chat if you ever watch any of his shows, but doing that. And so it just kind of took off from there. And then here we are.
Awesome, bro. That's awesome. That's awesome.
There you go. All right. Well, hey, thanks for coming on. Make sure everyone watching go sub to the Pound right now. His description is his link to his channel is in the description. But yeah, anything else you want to say let the viewers know what you're doing?
Yeah, just ranks, draft guide, both of those combined, in my opinion, is very strong. It's a very strong tool. The draft guide being based on Underdog's current ranks, and then just going based on value, like a value system based on their current ranks. And I update that 5 times throughout the offseason. And then on top of that, the CLV ranks, just really going into my takes. So that shit's cool. And then gonna be having a website come out, a lot of Bestball tools and some secret sauce going on there. So excited to share more later.
100%, man. Yeah, if you guys go watch his stream from yesterday, he was got this cool website thing where you can like look at the stacks you have. Just a really cool tool. So he's doing some awesome stuff, dude. Thanks for coming on. To the rest of the BBQers, the whatever we call ourselves these days.
We need a name.
Yeah, I know, right? I think it's grillers or like BBQers. I don't have a Discord. I don't use Discord. I just don't like it for some reason.
Yeah.
So we just have like a Twitter DM group chat. It's called BBQ Boys.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not very inclusive. Anyways, we will be back tomorrow. We have a guest, Fantasy Pros, Lucas Wenzel, is coming on the show, who actually lives less than 2 minutes for me in real life, which is wild.
Yeah,
so.
Great dude. Met him at the Dog Bowl with Nick.
There we go, man.
He was there with the other 2 boys.
So you know how I know him? I actually went to daycare with him 10 years ago. Swear to God, like 15 years ago. Maybe not 10
That's
years
funny.
Ago,
That's funny.
Wild. All right.
Small world.
Yeah, we will see you guys tomorrow, and everyone have a good rest of your